Alright, what's up YouTube? Thanks for tuning in. I guess I just want to give you guys some thoughts of the driving experience on this the new SI 10th Gen 2017. So far the car's been doing really good. Handling is great, it's really good. Suspension is good, sport mode is really good, even though I haven't really used it that much. Because my commutes aren't anything exciting, but yeah, overall the car's been doing really good as far as performance. It's a little peppy ride. It's a little fun to drive. Right now I have just over 1,200 miles, 1,223 to be exact, and my last fuel tank that where I broke in the engine, I believe that was the one, or I think I had one in between then and now. I was able to still net 340 miles to the tank right before the light came on, the low fuel light came on, which I think is really good, especially when I kept trying to test out the car, test out the turbo, beat on it a little bit, but nothing too crazy. It was mostly like highway acceleration runs, stuff like that. But so far the car's been doing really good. As far as the turbo, I mean, you can tell it's got a turbo, but it's not like when it kicks in, sometimes it just feels very linear. You don't get really that kick that much. I know there's a guy that does reviews. I think it's Redline Reviews. He does a review on the blue SI, AJ Blue, and he also mentioned that sometimes when you step on it, it just feels like it's naturally aspirated. It just feels like it's very linear, and there's no boost. You don't get that boost thrust or the turbocharged thrust when it kicks in. I second that comment. Sometimes when you step on it, it doesn't really feel like it's like the turbo just kicked in. It just feels very linear. It's nothing too crazy, nothing too exciting. Definitely not like it's definitely not a raw turbocharged feeling engine where once the turbo kicks in, it's full boost all the way to redline. It's definitely nothing like that. You almost have to kind of get it to wind up a little bit in the right RPM and then the right gear and kind of step on it, and then you get that full torque thrust that we love to feel. But I've seen a couple of these SIs. There's a couple of them now on eBay where they're being sold as used. I've seen pretty much all different colors that are used already just kind of pass through eBay right now, with 800 miles, 600, 1,200 miles, and I kind of have the feeling that people try it out. They think, oh yeah, turbocharged Honda, it should be fun, but I don't think this car meets the expectations of some people had hoped. I think that's why I'm starting to see some of these used cars out there already with less than 2,000 miles on them. I saw one with 2,200 miles or something like that, but I don't know. It's kind of like, me personally, I love the car. It's great. Is it quick? I mean, it's quick for a Civic. It really is the fastest SI ever made. It does definitely, you definitely know you lost that high revving NA powered K-Series engine. That is just completely gone. K-Series high revving naturally aspirated engines on the SIs are history. They're just gone. Honda is going to more starting to build more fuel economical cars, and you can tell with this new car, new SI, new engine, and this goes with all Civics, the hatch, the EXT, this one. It's got a nice emblem, real large emblem under the hood. It says Earth Dreams Technology, and this car does really, really good at delivering the fuel economy. What's it called? Otherwise, I think the turbocharger is not something they intended to do for this car as far as boosting the performance. I think it's just another element in trying to bring those fuel economy numbers high. And I think it's just kind of unfortunate, and you can kind of tell that the turbocharger is not a plus to the SI. It's just more like a complement to the engine, the new engines that they're putting out now. And the reason why I say that is because right now the ECU on this car has way too much power, way too much control over the performance of this car. I know this car has a lot of potential. Did you guys hear that? That's too much traffic. I'm not gonna catch up to him. I thought I saw an FRS and a GTI going at it. And it's too much traffic. But anyways, like I was saying, the engine, the ECU has way too much control over the output of this engine, and you can feel it when you kind of like step on it. And if anyone has this experience, please share it with us. When you step on it, the engine feels like it wants to go, and then it's hesitant, and then it wants to go, and it's hesitant, and it wants to go. And the thing that made me think of is how the dyno graphs look on these cars, where it's got it's got its peaks, ups and valleys, and all that. I think that this ECU has way too much control, and you can tell when you shift and hard, when you take off hard and you shift in the next gear, it does have that artificial boost lag, which I don't like at all. That's another why Honda put the flat full throttle shift on the Flash Pro calibrations, because it tries to avoid that losing the boost pressure for half a second, and it is very noticeable. You can kind of definitely feel, because after you shift and you step on it again, it takes like a split second for the turbo just to kick in, and that's something I don't like at all. They got way too much control on this engine, this poor turbo, and it's definitely not putting out what it's capable of doing. One of the things that I hope is with Flash Pro, it kind of evens that out a little bit and makes this car perform a lot smoother and everything. And I don't want it to feel the same way it feels now. Oh, who's that guy? So, what's that noise? Did I drop something? All right. So yeah, real quick, I know I've told you guys I've been thinking about getting an intake for this car, but I think honestly, after driving it for 1,200 miles, I think the most important thing I need to get, that I want to experience also, is Flash Pro. So Flash Pro is going to be the next, or the first, one of the first things I'm going to do to this car. For one, I want to experience the higher output. Honda claims an extra 40 foot-pounds of torque almost everywhere, and I think that's really, really good. Or in the mid-range, and I think that's really, really good. And 23 horsepower across the entire RPM band after 3,000 or whatever. And I'm hoping that it'll take care of some of these little bugs that this ECU is taking over this turbocharger. So if anyone's looking for old-fashioned turbocharged power and performance, and very little limitations, or I guess a little bit more control on the turbo, like let's say like an STI or WRX, this is not the car for you. It's totally not the car for you, at least in stock form. In stock form, it's not the car for you. This car, it's very unique. This engine, everything is very unique, and someone really has to get used to it and appreciate the overall technology and the intentions that Honda's trying to do with these this new next generation of performance and I guess fuel economy. And I think that's why some people got rid of their SIs quick. That's why I think I saw some, or I see some already on online being sold as used. There's one guy right now, he's on eBay, black, I think it's a black one, sedan. He's asking for $29,000. Come on, $29,000 for this car. You know, it's like, really, dude? You know, what did you roll over into this loan? A freaking second mortgage? And it's like, dang, $29,000. I wouldn't even pay. I probably wouldn't even pay more than sticker price for this car. I love it, everything about it, but I think that guy's asking price just, you know, pisses me off and everything, and you know, I think it's just ridiculous. But whatever, I'm sure he has his reasons. Whatever. But yeah. Otherwise, driving this car is really good. I want to show you guys. I want to see if I can sneak in somewhere and show you a couple little acceleration runs. Nothing too crazy, but in stock form, I think when the turbo kicks in, it kicks in pretty good. As far as PSI, I think I think the PSI this car's putting out, the whole idea of that Honda advertising 20 plus PSI of boost is way far-fetched. They should have advertised this thing at 18 pounds or 17 pounds, because, you know, I had this thing peak out at 19 pounds for half a second, and then it went 18 and 17, and then it just falls straight flat to 16 or 15 pounds. It's just so unpredictable, and it's not consistent at all whatsoever. It's really not. And like I said, this ECU has way too much control over the turbocharger, and I guess all that has to do with their intentions of making the engine reliable, make it last, and do good with fuel economy, which is really, really, really big expense. But I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if anyone has driven these, the new 10th SI, and let me know what your thoughts are. Are you impressed with it? Do you love it? Do you like it? Are you happy just because it's a brand new car and, you know, you're owning a brand new car? Or do you actually love the performance? Do you love the technology behind it? I love the technology behind it. I love the performance. I love the potential of it. But it's just, it definitely, Honda definitely reminds you that this is still an economy car, and you really have to work at getting most out of it. Luckily for this car, it's already turbocharged from the factory. You really don't need much, but opening up the intake, the exhaust would be my first option. Get a nice calibration loaded up or a tune, and you're pretty much good to go. It's already got the power adder, but everything else is like just letting it breathe. Otherwise, yeah, it's a good car. I like it. I like it for all the reasons. Anyone that tells you, yeah, it's a great car, it's got good gas, that's not a lie. It's got really good gas. Jeez, last time I averaged about 34 miles per gallon. When I beat the crap out of it, I averaged about 32, 33 almost. Right now, let's see where we're at. 32 miles per gallon. Not too bad. But overall, I like the car. I haven't really done much with sport mode. Let me see if I can do a little acceleration here, as long as I don't get busted. Let's see, the light's coming up. I'm gonna make a right up here, and what's this? me see if I can slow it down a little bit. That's nobody, that's nobody, that's nobody, that's nobody. Alright, so you can't step on it here because I don't want to lug it. So I gotta charge it up a little bit. I hate when I put it in the third, like it grabs, but and then it just pauses, like there's a delay. I did not like that delay whatsoever. Let's put the sucker in the third. And you know what? One thing I like is it's quiet as hell. So it's not too bad. It's not too bad. It is nighttime. It's somewhat cooler a little bit, and you can tell when it's warm. This car does not like hot air when it's hot outside. When it's hot outside, that's when you really feel mostly there's no pull on the turbo. It just feels very linear. And a lot of times on other driving, when I drive it, sometimes it just feels like that. I don't know if any of you guys noticed, if anyone that has the car or has driven it, when you drive hard and you take up to the red line, shift, red line, you get that sulfur smell inside the cabin. I don't know where that's coming from, honestly, because for me, I have my AC circulating inside the cabin, so I'm not really sure where that strong smell comes from. It definitely is a rotten egg smell, and it's kind of lame. All right, let's see. Kicked on at second, and there's no VSA button I want to press. It's just traction, but that's like more stability, I guess. Let's try it. Turn that off. Let me see if I can turn around real quick. Starting to smell that a little bit, and just a little bit. Oh, there's a car with his lights dimmed where I just turned, but it's nobody. It's a little junker car. All right, let's turn it around. All right, let's try that again. It does pull once it starts to get going. It's kind of nice, but now that I'm getting used to it, it's kind of like I want more. Ooh, there's nobody. All right, ready? Let's go. Notice that on second gear, it grabbed, and it kind of paused, and then it went. Not sure what all that's about. If anyone that has Flash Pro or Honda, and please tell me that fixes this. If not, then okay, we're good. If not, then I'm gonna have to get used to flat throttle shifting, which is one thing I don't like. Which to me, it kind of takes away the experience of driving a manual transmission car and shifting and all that good stuff, and you know, playing around with the double clutch and all that stuff, and it takes away the fun of it. I'm not really trying to do any 0 to 60 times right now, or I'm not at the track right now, and I hope Flash Pro can take care of that little lag once you shift in the gears. All right, let's go back. This time let's do it from second gear. I wish I had more space or I was at a track, but hold up. Come on, dude. Which way are you going? Okay, just checking. So yeah, it's super quiet. I don't know if you guys heard anything or what it sounds like, but yeah, this thing is super quiet. It does get going. That torque, you can tell it's got way more torque than power, because it really feels like you're just gliding through and floating through. It's not, you don't get that, K20 pull, where it's definitely lacking that torque, and all you feel is that pull and all that stuff. It's just taking you, like it's lifting you off the ground. It's like, jeez, once you get going 70, 80 miles an hour, and it feels really good. It feels really good. Poor thing. Gotta let it cool off a little bit. I'm gonna drive around. But yeah, well, let's take this corner here real quick. In second gear. I hate that. It goes whoa, 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 whoa. It's like, come on, just go, let loose, just unleash all your 18 psi. But no, it's I wish Honda gave us an explanation on why it doesn't peak out at 20 or doesn't stay at 20. But yeah, I mean, yeah, like I said, it's a good car. It's this engine definitely has potential. There's something I don't like about it that I just mentioned right now, and it is something I can live with, I can get used to, especially if I'm gonna have a Flash Pro loaded up on it soon. And one thing I do want to show you guys is I want to do a video on the engine and the engine compartment. One very important thing that I want to share with you guys is the intake design on this car, and I want to talk about how bad it is, simply because it is placed above the turbocharger and the downpipe, and you only have about an inch of clearance, inch and a half, maybe 2 inches from the turbo heat shield to the plastic intake tube. And damn, I can't wait to show you guys that, because man, that pipe on that tube, plastic tube intake, when you're driving normal driving, going home, once you get home, you pop the hood open, oh my god, that tube is so freaking hot. It's so hot, it's not even funny. You're like, what were they thinking? But yeah, that's what's coming up next. I want to show you guys that engine. Let me know what you guys think about the car. Anyone that has it, has driven it, or if you've gotten rid of it, please let me know what your thoughts are. I think it's a good car, great car. It's still brand new to us, and it's still brand new to the SI community, because no more high revving engines. Sad to say, those days are gone, over, long gone. That puts the 8th and 9th Instant Classic in my books. And come on, guys. And yeah, those are my thoughts. Otherwise, it's a good car. That's it for now. Thanks for tuning in. Later.